Alright, welcome to the YouTube. This is my first video going out, and I'm starting a new series. I'm going to go through each and every single NFL team and go through their record and go through their season and see how they play out, and I'm going to try and keep like as much as I can. And you know, as we're in the off season, a lot of things are going to change. I will account for that, but this is what I'm going to do as of the 16th of May in 2025. And with that being said, let's get into this. So first up, we got the Buffalo Bills. Alright, so the first team the Bills got to start off their 2025 season is the Ravens. I don't think we could have picked a better startup match to start the season with any other team, because these are two of the best teams in the NFC continuously. But with that being said, I really do think the Ravens are going to lose to the Bills at home on a season opener. It's going to be close. It'll be sure close. But you don't go into that stadium, you don't enter Bills Mafia and get away unscathed. And then the next week, they got the Jets in MetLife. I'll give them in MetLife. The Jets haven't done much of anything to get a team going. They've been in a rebuild since the 80s, 70s, whenever they were last good. Since then, they've been in a rebuild. That is a flawless victory, if you will. Alrighty, so the next team we got is the Miami Dolphins. Another home game, another trample victory. The Dolphins are going to have a rough season. If they have a winning record, honestly, I'd be surprised. If they keep Mike McDaniels, I would be surprised if they keep a winning record. Alright, next, we got the Patriots. The Patriots at the Bills. I mean, come on, man. It's the Patriots. They haven't been good since Brady, which wasn't that long ago, but it feels like it was that long ago. It's not even going to be relatively close. The Bills are such a good team. They may not have added much this season, but they've kept a lot, which has really shown. Alright, next would be, it's going to be the Falcons. Falcons are going to be at home. It's not going to matter though. Belt to ass. Belt to ass. Just going to put a whooping on them. Bills are starting off friggin' 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 6-0. I truly believe 6-0 isn't within the realm of possibility. Alright, next, they got a bye week 7, so we're going to go next to week 8. Week 8, they got the Panthers. Once again, one of those teams that, I mean, they were good when they had Cam Newton, you know, that dominant team in the 2010s. It's not even going to be close. It's going to be such a belt-to-ass game. This, I'd say from here on out, after this week, this is week 9, after week 9, this is where their schedule really takes a turn. Because after this, after the silly-ass Panthers, they got the Chiefs. And I think this is where they get their first true loss of the season. It's going to be close. But I think they lose by like less than a touchdown, if that. Like it's within a touchdown game, because both those teams they run the AFC. Literally, the Ravens and the Chiefs and the Bills, those teams run the NFC. Now, this time it will be the Dolphins in Miami. Sunshine or rain, Tua Tagovailoa ain't gonna get it done. It'll be closer, I think, this time. I think within a score and a half, maybe. Now, this one took me forever to figure out what even might happen. There was a lot of consideration. I think the Buccaneers beat the Bills. I think Baker Mayfield puts on a show. I think Mike Evans just puts on a show. I think their whole team just does what they do. And because last year they looked good. They looked good. I think this year they improve. I truly do believe that they could put on a good enough show and beat the Bills at home. Sweet, sweet, innocent Bengals. They're playing in Highmark Stadium. They don't even have a defense. This isn't even gonna be a close game unless if they all of a sudden start making huge defensive moves. I don't even think this game's gonna be relatively close. Now, this one, through a lot of consideration and pure how the NFL would work, just the funniest thing. It would be the greatest thing of all time if out of the blue the Steelers just they actually had a winning, not a 9-8 season. I'm talking 11-5 season. I don't know if that math works out, but let's be on the point. I think the Steelers win this game, and I think they do an ass whooping. The Bills line isn't that good. I think TJ Watt puts on a show, and I think they just clamp the whole game. It'd be amazing if they did that. I think it'd be one of the funniest things of all time if they did that. Week 15 comes back around. They got the Patriots. Don't matter where. Ass whooping there. Not much to say on that one. The Browns next. Once again, one of those teams that just hasn't done much. Don't think it's going to be close. Now, the Eagles are the next team that they play. The Eagles have retained a lot of players. And I think it shows. I think it's going to show. Not saying the Eagles are within the realms of a three-peat or a repeat. I think the Eagles are one of the best teams in the NFL, though. I honestly do believe that. I think they could repeat. And I think that they put an ass whooping on the Bills. All right, so next is the Jets. Once again, I said all I need to say with the Jets. So let me know how I did. I think the Bills realistically can go 14 or 13-4. I don't think that's a stretch, if I'm being honest. I think the losses I had are justifiable, and I think some of the close wins can be turned. I think any of the close losses can be turned. But let me know how I did. Leave a comment and drop a follow. It'd be much appreciated.